Well, today on the Edinburgh Journal, what we're going to do is we're going to be building a weasel or ermine trap. It's a box trap, and this is what it's going to look like when we're done. Kind of like a big turkey cow. But we're going to get right to it. We've got a pile of wood here. We're going to show you how to put one of these together. We've got enough material here today to build 3 of these boxes. And what you're going to want to get is a 6-inch wide, 6-foot long, by 1/2 inch thick dog-eared fence slat. It's just like a replacement board for dog-eared fencing, and it's made out of cedar. And the cage for the back of the vent on the box, this is just a simple gutter guard mesh wire. You can buy mesh wire by the sheet, but it's a little more expensive, and there's enough here to make probably 6 or 7 boxes. This cost $1. The dog-eared fence cost about $3. You need your standard big rat trap. Okay, don't get your finger caught in there, it'll hurt. And pack of hinges, some simple screen door clips here, or locks. It's just a little hook latch to lock the lid down with, and some simple poultry fencing staples. That's to put this on the back of the air vent. We'll show you how to do that. And a box of 4D finish nails. So tools you're going to need. You're going to need a hammer, saw to cut the wood. We've already pre-cut all the wood, so you won't have to worry about us showing you that. But we'll give you the dimensions and everything you need for that. Maybe a drill. You need something to cut a hole with. We're going to use the drill in a mandrel bit with a hole cutting saw to cut the holes. And tape measure, pencil, you know, just the basic stuff. And some cutters to cut the wire with. So let's get started. After you cut your wood, you're going to have what's the front and the back of the box, okay? We're not cutting anything to width. When you buy this long piece of wood, this dog-eared fence slat, it's actually 6 inches wide, and we use that as the complete width of the box. These 2 pieces here are 6 inches long. The sides and the bottom of the box are 12 inches. You wind up with 3 of these, and the actual lid of the box is 17 inches long. It's a little longer, and that's what you can actually lift open the top with. If you notice, when we started cutting from the bottom end of the fence slat, and this is the dog-eared top here, and it makes for a nice little decorative trim piece when you lift it up. So just not a square piece. Looks like you put a little extra effort into it, and actually you really didn't, so it's kind of cool. The vent hole, you want to use a circular hole cutter, and we're going to cut a hole through the center of the back of the back of the box, and this is going to be 1.5 inches, 1 3/4 rounds, about as big as you want to make that. Now you want to find the exact center for the back to drill the hole in, so what we're going to do is go from corner to corner and just draw a small line. What we're going to do is just put an X on the back of the box. Make sure you hold this tight so it doesn't spin in your hand. We're going to move up to a 2-inch hole. Okay, now on this hole, it's not going to go right in the center. It's going to go a little high of center. So the weasel actually jumps up and into the hole. So what that does is force him to come up into the hole, and when he lands inside, that's when the trap gets him. Okay, now we're going to cut the actual screen mesh here to cover up the vent hole in the back, and you want it probably 1 inch to 1.5 inches bigger on all sides. Or you can cut it actually as big as the back of the box if you'd like. But we're going to cut it just a little bit smaller. And we'll put that right over top of the back. This is what the inside is going to look like. Okay, that's for the vent hole. And basically what this is going to do is let air pass through the box and blow the scent of the bait that's in the box through there so it gets out into the air. And that way the weasel or the ermine can actually smell it and attract them to your box. Okay, there you go. Okay, now it's time to put the actual hinge on, and seeing as how this is the inside of the back, you just butt the hinge up right to the top where it's going to meet the top lid. Okay, so this way we can actually put this on a little bit easier with it being unattached, or before it's built actually. Now you want to get your 2 sides and your bottom, and you want to lay them out like this. You want the 2 sides actually sitting on top of the bottom of the box. Next I want to show you a little trick I learned in wood shop back in high school. My shop teacher told me. Seeing how we're using real thin wood here, when you nail into this on the edge, it's real easy to split. So what I did is I took the finish nail that we're actually going to use, and I put it in the chuck of my drill here. And we're actually going to use this, because it's got a tapered end on it, is a mini drill bit to pre-drill the holes of actually where I'm going to nail at. Now it's time to put the back on. Make sure the mesh goes to the inside of the box. Make sure the hinge goes to the top. Okay? Okay, now we're going to apply the front. Remember that we drilled the front entry hole a little off center to the top, so they actually have to jump up and in. So make sure that your hole is towards the top. Okay, there is the entry hole, the front, the back. It's kind of what it looks like. Now we have to put the lid on and just put the trap in and put a latch on, and it's done. Now, something Michael just noticed a second ago that makes a lot of sense that I didn't catch. When you put the lid on, because we put the lid hinge on the inside of the box and not on the back lip or on the outside, that actually you're going to have to slide the, instead of making it flush on the back on this one we did here, you'd actually have to slide it forward so it would have room to open like such. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the hinge off, flip it back around to the back side of the box, and put it on the outside. That way it'll slide all the way back. Okay, the way we're going to do this is we're actually going to mount it into the back side and the bottom of the lid. In order to do that, you're going to have to have your hinge like this. So actually you can see as it holds, it's going to completely flip over, open that way. Okay, so that's the closed position. This might be the trickiest part, is making sure that you get your lid lined up down both edges. Okay, as you can see here, this is the actual inside of the lid here. We screwed the hinge to the inside, and on the back it's on the outside. So when it closes, and then we put our latch on the outside here in the front, which we're going to do next. It holds it in the closed position. And as Michael so observantly noted earlier, it looks like a gigantic turkey call. So I wonder if we could call big turkeys in this. And now we've got to put our hook and eye latch, screen door latch, on in order to keep it shut. We're going to put it right here on the edge and mark the spot underneath. Now, holding the lid down tight, you want to figure out where you need to put the actual fastener. And you can see here where we marked the wood, and this is where I'm going to put the actual eye hook, and that keeps it shut. That basically keeps other varmints from getting inside if you happen to trap something, or it keeps them from knocking the lid over and getting in and taking your bait. Once again, don't get your fingers in there. It will hurt, okay? You set these just like the regular mouse trap. What you want to do when you set that is, here's the front entry hole. You want the actual trip pan to be back here, okay? If it's this way, he comes in, he's going to jump over the trip pan, and if it does happen to spring, he's going to be over top of it, okay? So what you want is it like this, so when he comes in, it's going to get him from the back side, okay? And another thing you guys will do, if they so desire to make these a little stronger, you can see these little fingers back here underneath these springs. They'll put a wood shim underneath these, which actually tightens the spring, which makes it actually trip harder. Instead of just lying the bait back here at the back, simply on the floor, they'll put a pan, like maybe a snuff can, an empty snuff can, and actually nail it to the bottom and put the bait in there. But when it's all set up, that's kind of what it looks like right there. Well, that'll do it for the Weasle Box episode of the video portion of the Up North Journal. Thanks, and join us again next time.